Well, the US Secretary of State says it's crucial that Libya holds national elections in December to ensure peace and stability. Antony Blinken made those comments during an international conference currently taking place in Berlin, which aims to reduce violence in the North African country. Now, during the past year, Libya has made swift progress in addressing a decade of chaos and violence that at one stage threatened to escalate into a full-scale regional conflict. Representatives from the transitional government are there taking part along with key foreign players, including the US, Russia, Turkey and Egypt.
We share the goal of a sovereign, stable, unified, secure Libya, free from foreign interference. It's what the people of Libya deserve. It's critical to regional security as well. For that to happen, national elections need to go forward in December, and that means urgent agreement is needed on constitutional and legal issues that would undergird those elections. And the October 23rd ceasefire agreement has to be fully implemented, including by withdrawing all foreign forces from Libya.
We have a security plan, we have a comprehensive security plan in order to secure elections, and we expect the release of the electoral law, the adoption of the electoral law, and with this and with your help, we hope to see the full withdrawal of foreign mercenaries and foreign fighters in order to also implement the relevant Security Council resolutions. This plan needs funding and equipment. Of course, this holds true for all the other plans as well in order to overcome this crisis.
Well, in a moment, we'll get some analysis from our diplomatic editor, James Bays. He's in London. He's also covered Libya extensively. But first, let's go live to Adam Rainey. He's following developments at that conference in Berlin for us. Now, Adam, this is, by my understanding, the first time that the US has participated in a Berlin conference. How is their presence there shaping things so far? I know it's still early days.
Well, it's clearly drawing a lot of attention and making the Libyans and other parties here see how seriously the U.S. is taking this under the new administration, under President Joe Biden. The Trump administration didn't give it as much importance, and that was clear to everyone. So there's hope, there's this sense there that Blinken's participation in this second conference and his strong words of commitment to this whole process is a sign of what the U.S. is willing to do to help. But they're not really giving a lot of specifics so far. And the comments we heard from the Libyan Prime Minister just moments ago that our audience just heard as well, he's asking for support, and he probably wants some real clear indication of what that support's going to look like on the ground. Despite the progress we've seen in Libya in recent months, it's still not a stable, functioning democracy by any stretch. So they're looking for support from all the parties here to actually make this plan have some meat on the bones that they've laid out, because without that, it's just not going to succeed. Although they're all saying we need to get all foreign fighters out and we need to have these elections take place in a peaceful manner in December, and we have to unify the one military and get rid of these militias. So far, we're not hearing a lot of specifics about what that's going to look like. And the Libyan delegation is probably, at least behind closed doors right now, pushing these very powerful partners to tell them exactly how they're going to help them do just that.
Adam Rainey there on the ground for us following that conference in Berlin. We'll be speaking to him a bit later. Thank you so much, Adam. Well, let's now bring in our diplomatic editor, James Bays. He's following all of this for us from London. Now, James, you've covered Libya in great detail. You've been there. You know a lot of the diplomats who are on the ground in Berlin. What, in your mind, are the big sticking points in the discussions that are happening today and tomorrow?
Well, I think all of those attending are very, very pleased with what's happened in Libya over the last year, because a year ago, the country was divided in two. They were fighting each other. There was effectively a civil war going on, and things were only getting worse. Since then, we've had a ceasefire. We've had a transitional government, the government of national unity, put in place, and things are looking positive for the first time. But as you say, there are sticking points that they're very worried about, and they know that there have been moments of hope in Libya in the past. A decade ago, during the so-called Arab Spring, was when Gaddafi was toppled, and there was considerable hope then. But, of course, it led not to any resolution, but to renewed fighting because of distrust among various groups in Libya and competition among various actors, foreign and international players on different sides in the international zone. So they need to, I think, make sure that things don't fall off track again. They need to try and make sure there are elections. They're supposed to be on the 24th of December. They need to make sure that those happen on time. And the other element is those foreign actors involved and the foreign fighters and foreign troops, which again, I think this Berlin meeting is going to call for them all to withdraw. The key ones among them, I think, are the Turks. Now, remember, Turkey is attending this conference. It says it was invited into Libya and it's there under an official invitation. The other key one, it was on the other side when Libya was divided, and that is Russia. Russia says it doesn't have troops in Libya, but of course there are Russian contractors there, security contractors, effectively mercenaries who are on the ground, and most diplomats you speak to say that there's no way they'd be there if President Putin didn't want them there.
James, what is the current situation on the ground in Libya? I know, as you say, things have improved, but there's still a huge amount of challenges ahead. How far are we away from a more sustainable resolution?
Well, it's not a normal country even now, but there have been slow progress and slow developments, including recently the reopening of the coastal road. Remember, Libya is a country where most of the population live by the Mediterranean, so that coastal highway is the key lifeline for Libya, and it had been divided. Sirte was effectively the front line between the two parts of Libya. The coastal road is now, for now, open. So that is a positive development, but there are many, many worries going forward for the international community. Remember, of course, there's General Haftar out there who is not really involved in this government of national unity. Most of his foreign backers are not really backing him anymore because I think, from speaking to people who actually met him, he's a megalomaniac and he was not really a very effective commander or very effective at running the parts of the country that he controls, but he still has significant influence in those parts of the country and a real ability to destabilise things if he wants.
Our diplomatic editor, James Bays, there with that analysis for us from London. Thank you, James.